Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thank you for tuning in and checking out your boy, P Funk. Oh, I'm in the lab. It's fully operational. I got furniture, I got pictures, I got a desk, I got my little flowers over here. I got it where I want it. I'm ready to do what it is I do for you. Let's go. I got a good lesson for you today. I'm gonna go a little bit on character today. I'm talking about my old man in honor of Father's Day. But before we get started, you know what we do. Writers and 25 rules live by storytelling. Story with a message and a story for life. I'm giving you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I'm hoping you use them because that should be helping you in your life. That's what I do for you. Let's go. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment, getting to know who you are for yourself from the inside out. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Remember, it's a mind game, but you got to have your heart involved, heart mind coherence. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. And through spiritual discipline, through mental and spiritual discipline daily. It have to be done consistently. That will help and guide you to obtain your goal of obtaining spiritual enlightenment. That's my mission, to get all right thinkers to know themselves, aka know thyself. That's the mission. Now the question. You have to have an answer for this. Know thyself. If you're a person who knows not and knows not that you know not, you're foolish. I probably disregard you. Can't help you. Alright? If you're a person who knows not and knows that you know not, you're simple. I can teach you. Tune in. That's why I do what I do. It's for you. I got you. Everything you need, I got you. Now, if you're that person who knows not and you believe that you know, you are a danger to yourself and others who follow your philosophical points of view. That's really not on point because there's no substance to it. It's just belief, aka the belief system, religion. Here you go. If you're a person who knows, but knows not that you know, you're just asleep spiritually and intellectually. So my job is to wake you up with what? Spiritual knowledge, aka I'm the spiritual alarm clock. I got the knowledge that'll wake you up. That's what I do. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself, and to Maya, be true. You got to be true, and you got to understand balance is important to have in your life. It's the first thing that God made when He came out of chaos. Okay, He counteracted chaos with order and balance, aka duality. Let's talk about right thinkers. Let's talk about my God, who I felt this way when I was young. I thought my father was Jesus, so actually I was Jesus Christ, and they locked me up that I was crazy. Fast forward 30 years later, I'm teaching the concept that pertains to God, how to get to God, how to communicate with God. See the difference? Okay, so let's go. Right thinkers, let's talk about Dudda. Yeah, I renamed my father from dad, daddy, I was getting a little old to be saying dad, dad's like, okay, I renamed him. But I came up with a concept because, again, when we read the book, it tells you God created man in His image. My father's a man. He got with my mom. He created me. I look like my dad. So it's a perfect fit. It ain't just my fit. It's a universal fit. It goes everywhere for everybody. If everybody who in this world was here because a man and a woman got together, and that's the offspring. And you're 9 times out of 10, if you're male, you look like your dad. If you're female, you look like your mom. Hence, same image. Let's go. When I was studying and learning my spiritual truths, I came up with this concept. That's you studying, so you conceptualize, and you try to get their point of view. You come up with your own. This is the one of my own that I came up with. Dudda. That means my creator, aka my father, my maker, my sustainer. In other words, my everything. Ain't that who God is? See? And men, if we do our job as fathers, then we give our sons a better opportunity to be the best selves. They're not us. They're them. We just got to give them the tools that they need them to be their best selves. That's what parenting is all about. You don't raise your kid wanting him to do the things that you didn't get a chance to do. It's not fair to them. So don't get caught up in that nonsense. When I was growing up, when I was raising my son, I saw a lot of parents living precariously through their kids. I never did that. Nah, I just shared the ride. I just enjoyed it. I just stood back and listen. When I was doing my thing, I would always look in the crowd and I'd spot my father or spot him somewhere, and he'd be just like this. That's the nod of approval. That's like having God say, well done, my good and faithful servant. In my life, having my old man give me the nod of approval motivated me to do better. That's all. As a parent, I go see my son play, I just sit back, enjoy what he's doing. But when we get out of everybody, I'm teaching, I'm instructing, I'm grilling. That's what he do. God does his work behind the scenes. He told Lot wife, don't look back, why? I'm busy. She looked back, what happened? Another story. Okay, here you go. Now, I understand God makes his children. We're all God's children in his image. Spiritually, the spirit is the same in me as in you, as in anybody. It's the spirit of God. It don't change. We know God is God all alone. Yeah, that's understandable. But when it came to creating man, he said, let us. So that means, yeah, he had to, conceptually, how we want to do it. I have a creation story. I have a different version, different concept. I want to use one that's relative to everybody. And if you come to entertain my concepts in my school, I'll give you the different version. Right now, I'm giving you the generic version. Yeah, he said let us. That means he had to have help. And if he created himself to be male, that means he got to create female in order to create life. That's how life is made. Male, female, get together, bam, we got life. That's the function of the key of life, which is the arm. You see the key, the upper part is the womb, the female, the bottom part, the stem is the male phallus. The two parts that come out is the offspring, male or female. Come on, fellas, ladies, let's get with the concept. Let's think a little more. All right, here you go, moving on. I got a long way to go. I got to get this in order. Slow down. No, speed it up, excuse me. That's who I call my dad, Dudda. Dudda meant God in the flesh. He's my God. He created me, all this stuff, but he's in the flesh. I can relate to him. Now that he's up in heaven where he's doing his art, watching over me, sending me down the blessings as I earn them, it's conceptually. You can manufacture anything you want symbolically and make it work for you, but the bottom line is you have to put in some work, okay? My dad was a man's man. What I mean by that? He could take your girl, because he was smooth like that, and he'd kick your ass if you got out of place. That's what men do. I defend myself. I don't start fights. But if it's going down, I ain't backing down. So understand that. Men handle their business. My dad was God in my eyes, mind, and my heart. But he showed me he was still just a man. Why? Because he did things that after I got older and saw that I didn't agree with. A lot of things he did, but he taught me how to be and how not to be by me observing and seeing him for who he was, not who I thought he was in my mind. See, and you let that dictate the person, a lot of times they're gonna fall short. They're human. If they don't realize that, they're gonna do what humans do, make mistakes and do them. All right. What we think or feel about someone will change. Why? Because you will grow, you will observe, and you will see things, and you'll be able to make a better decision. Your discernment comes into play now. When I got old enough to challenge my old man and some of the things that he did I didn't agree with, we had a man-to-man in front of my son. That's what men do, okay? We not gonna have this problem. Me and my son not gonna have that problem. I'm not gonna put you in a position to do that to me, or I'll do something to you. Nope. That's the difference. So you make the changes for the next generation. Men make men. That's my point. When I made my stand against my dad, I want my son to see what men do. Okay, he got nothing but respect for my dad. My son, his grandfather is the end all be all because that's all he know of him, which is fine. I ain't gonna change that to try to distort that. That's what it's all about. I took all my father's good parts. Take the one. Been poom poom tang real good. Yeah, I'm all that, but you changed in what? I took all my good parts and I transferred them from me to my son. He got my fatherly qualities. He don't have my flaws, my character flaws, my misunderstanding of life at that time. I didn't force that on him. I didn't pass it on to him. I didn't make him a drug dealer. I didn't make him a ladies' man. No. I taught him to be independent and be his own person. That's who he is to this day. He's doing the same with his. So we got a good thing going. All right. I learned my most valued life lessons from my dad. Good and bad. We shared a prison cell together because of what we did, the family business. But again, he was God to me. All right. He was all I wanted to be like when I was young. Now listen, when I was young, I wanted to be like my dad. I did the things that I saw my dad do. It wasn't good. I didn't show it to my son. Why? It wasn't good. I told him to respect women, do all that good stuff. Yeah, stuff that I was doing wrong. I showed him, don't do that. Okay. But when I grew up, I saw and I changed. Perfect example. I didn't pass my bad aspects of myself onto my son. I gave him the benefit of the doubt to be himself. Whatever flaws he's going to have, they'll be his own. They won't be given to him by me. We don't pass down our iniquities to our children. I did for my son what my dad did for me. Show me what a real man looks like. So now you have an idea of what a man is. And young men who grew up without a father, I understand. But for those who can't use that excuse, what's your excuse? Okay. If my son was going off the rails, we'd have a problem. Well, I wasn't having that. And I asked him, why did he do it? He said, I knew you were thank you, appreciate that, because he knew I wasn't going for that. I knew my dad wasn't going for it, so I saved myself the agony and the heartbreak and the physical altercation of doing a bunch of wrong, nonsensical stuff that I had to pay for. First of all, in my house, and then the law. So I was conscious of my dad. Here you go. Now, fathers, listen, men, we are gods. We had the power that God had. We can't create the world. We can't make air. We can't put the sun in place. No, but we can procreate. We can raise and manifest good things for ourselves and our offspring. That's what makes us God-like men. We have God-like abilities to what? Procreate in our own image. If you create it, you should take care of it. God don't forsake none of his. He's with all of us. He tell you that. I'm doing pretty good. I did for mine. Excuse me. I did for what my father did for me. Okay. Now he's doing it the same for his sons. Teaching them how to be their best selves. That's right thinking. If you create it, you should raise it and not just pay for it. We shouldn't have child support hold us accountable to take care of what's ours. And all that is, you just gonna get off some money every week, but you're not there, you're not in person. Come on, you're not in the life. I know the difference. Been there, done that too. Women, when you put your baby's father on child support, you are destroying the relationship between the father and the son. And more so, you and the father also. So you doing real damage to two people's lives because of your selfishness, your feelings. I ain't going there. Get back. Sorry about that. Personal. All right, here you go. Now, I'm not cool with being told how much to pay for my child instead of how to raise it the right way. Give me the opportunity to do that. Don't just take the money in my pocket and think I'm going to do that. They're not going to do that. Women, when you take the money out of their pocket, they're going to just be done with that. So the son suffers. Relationship between the father and son suffers. And child support don't care. They just keep making in the dough. You should get better at that too. Keep them out your business. Here you go. I don't rag on bad gods, aka bad dads. They have their own demons to deal with. Trust me. If you ain't being glorified on tomorrow, which is Father's Day, you did some things wrong. That's a you issue. Nobody else. So every man who's in that predicament, you ain't got to ride him, you ain't got to bag on him, you ain't got to deal with that. It's like consequences for your actions, karma. Don't worry about what he did or didn't do. He got to be responsible for that. But guess what? So do you. So stop throwing stones. If you live in a glass house, we can see your faults too. We all have them. Like buttholes and armpits. We all have them. Here you go. I'm about to wrap it up. Yeah, I appreciate you tuning in. I see I'm running a little long, but I hope the lessons get across. Here you go. God provide and sustain what they make. Meaning, if you make a child, you should provide for it and sustain it. Child support is going to make you provide for it. Sustaining it is being there for it. Being there in a time of need. Being there for the emotions. Being there in person. Don't just being there in thought. Being there and feeling, oh, I love you. That don't do nothing. Men, being a father means you made a human being. You brought life into the world. It's your responsibility to take care of it. When you let somebody else tell you to, then you're upset. But if you do what you're supposed to do, they shouldn't be in the mix. That's all I'm saying. I know the difference between, watch this, paying child support and being left alone to do what you think you do as a man. My son's mother didn't involve them, let me be a father. I respect her to this day for that. How we get along didn't make a difference. But the respect that she gave me for being a father to my son, I'll always respect her for that. If you take me to court, you will never earn my respect unless you turn me loose. I appreciate that too. Okay, been on both sides, but it's not a good thing, young ladies. Okay, and men got to suffer through that. That's not easy. That noose on their neck, not a good thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm a good provider and sustainer for my offspring, not just in cash. You raise them in person. It's a long last relationship after that. Okay? I have experience in raising a boy into a good God-fearing man. Brag about my son, but he don't need to have that. He can know that I'm good. So I don't tell you about all the stuff that I act like I did my son. But Father's Day, as a good father, that's what he gets his due from me. He's a good son. He's a good father. I'm proud of that. I know I had something to do with that. That's what it's all feel good. Why you had your hand in the plate. You had something to do with that. That's what being a parent is all about. When your kid's successful, you know you had a hand in that. I ain't got to get the net. Man, I can care less about that. I'm just sitting back. This is mine. That's what being a father is all about. Watch this. I have grandsons who are being provided for and sustained by their father, who I passed on that concept, and I'm seeing it being exercised. I'm so proud. I hope everybody do the same. Keep a good generational tradition going, not the bad ones. All the curses do not have to be bad. Start a good tradition. Take care of what's yours. Pass it along. That's what I did. I appreciate you. Welcome to the lab. I got some more. I'm just getting started.